Amulet Titan and Bant Company. It's going to be the matchup.
Yeah.
So
this build, it is 2 Reflector Mage. There are 4 Spell Queller. That can be a little slow in this matchup. It can be very slow.
It actually doesn't. I mean, it hits Summoner's Pacts, but it can be a dead card, actually, as interesting as it sounds.
Yeah.
Now remember, Amulet Titan is not the fast combo deck, if you remember back when it had Summer Bloom anymore. It's much more of a mid-range ramp deck at this point. If you get a double Amulet draw, it's still pretty fast, but I mean, that's not really what it's about.
Right.
Turn 1 Birds of Paradise for Justin. Daryl starts on a Teleria West.
Powerful start.
It's fine. You have to have something that can be picked up to a bounce land, but yeah, you'd rather see a You'd really like to see a Tribe Scout or an Amulet on turn 1.
Right. Yeah, even Stirrings, as you were saying, it's a fine way to start.
Yeah, Stirrings is like pretty medium, except when it finds Amulet, then it's great.
In a lot of decks, when you have to play your Teleria West, you are losing value. But as you mentioned, with this deck, you play so many bounce lands.
They're all the same.
Pick up Teleria West, you'll get to transmute it later.
Yeah. Knight of the Reliquary, turn 2 for Justin, and since they're both off fetch lands, that's a 4/4. This kind of speed is what Justin wants to be doing in the matchup.
Yep.
Daryl, turn 2 basic 4th. Looks like we're going to see some exploring. Here's Explore. Gruul Turf the pickup. And speaking of another pickup, he's going to be able to make a bounce land here. I believe he has an Azusa in hand, so turn 4 Titan is what we're setting up for.
Sure.
The trick to the Amulet really works in 2 ways. So the first phase is make a Titan. In fact, second phase, and that's like pretty straightforward. I mean, it's not, but you know, there's two modes. And then once you make the Titan, the rest of the game revolves around figuring out how to not lose after you've made Titan.
Yeah. And you were saying it might not be good in this matchup, but here the test is going to be getting that Azusa through a Spell Queller.
Yeah, Knight of the Reliquary swings in for 4 from Justin. Yeah, and there's not much Daryl can do if there is a Queller. He's going to run straight into it.
Exactly, yeah.
Land go for Justin, so Queller is hiding.
That 4th land tapped in a deck that almost assuredly is playing Collected Company.
You just shock just for bluff?
Well, it's a match.
He has Company in his hand.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Because Daryl might not play in. I agree. Daryl might not jam into a Spell Queller.
Yeah.
Actually, playing the 4th land untapped, shocking for it, would make Daryl play into the Queller more.
Yeah, because it's a Collected Company you have to hit.
Yeah.
It's a matchup where the life is pretty free.
All right, here's Azusa. So Justin gets it. Spell Queller will quell away the Azusa. Another TUS for Daryl. And the reason he plays the second Teleria West is actually so he can transmute on this next turn.
Yep, you have 2 blue mana now.
Yeah, and you tap them both, you pick one up to a bounce land, and then you transmute it.
Yep.
Swing here for 6, puts Daryl down to 10. He'll pass.
And now Justin will have access to that Collected Company.
Yeah, you got to be concerned on Daryl's side. There may not be too much he can do.
You have some insulation with a potential Company in a Spell Queller if there's something that you want to quell, and you're very likely to find lethal damage on the following turn.
So actually not going to transmute. Daryl picks up a T-West. And he'll cast Azusa again. This is using the floating mana and the Gruul Turf. This is actually fair. Daryl, it would be happy to chump block with this Azusa too.
Yes.
Land and land. He's going to play the T-West again just for more mana.
Yeah, these lands are the most important ones. You know, once the Azusa's set up a little bit, it becomes less important on future turns.
Really, with Azusa, all you have to do is cash in the bonus lands once, and that's about what she does.
Yep.
Once you start making Primeval Titan, there are situations where having an Azusa post-Titan lets you do cool things. You see Vesuva copying Simic Growth Chamber, bouncing Teleria West, so he has 8 mana on the table at the moment. I think what he'd like to be able to do is if he can survive, he has enough mana to transmute for Engineered Explosives on 3 play and crack, which is huge on this board. And Company misses, yeah.
Just finds Tireless Tracker ends up here for Justin.
Well, if he's got a removal spell and a land, I believe this is 10 damage.
Yeah, Path plus land would crack the clue, would be lethal. It looks like there's no land, though.
No land? Oh my gosh, this is so close. So he has Daryl down to 1?
Unfortunate.
How many basics?
Actually, this is a little messed up here. Looks like he does have Courser of Crew Fix in hand.
He could have tried for the land.
Well, he couldn't.
Well, he
can't crack the clue. So he could be representing a Spell Queller from here.
With Daryl down to 1, though, his play is going to be get that EE on 3 and crack it. For sure.
Yeah.
There's no way anything else wins.
Well, also, that just might win on the spot if he does that. He does have to finally close the game, but Justin representing no power from there.
So here's that blue, double blue. It's the Transmute of Teleria West. I think it's going to be at the explosives.
We'll find out if Justin has another Queller.
Yeah, Daryl gets EE. I mean, if he hasn't, Daryl has no choice. I mean, he maybe has a blue pact in his hand, and he could blue pact to Queller.
Yeah. But yeah, Daryl's action is forced.
But I'm not saying if he's playing Pact Negation main. That's not always the case. Yes, he is.
1 copy?
1 copy. Yeah, sometimes it's in the board.
Yep.
EE for 3.
Oh, actually, I love this play by Daryl. He spent excess mana so that it couldn't be put under a Queller.
Oh, that's so good. He paid it, wait, for 5?
Sunburst is 3, X is 5.
5? Oh, that's nice. That's really heads up on Daryl's side. Good call.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Funny thing about engineered explosives, the X only matters in the sense that you have to pump that much mana in.
And Daryl's going to crack the EE now. I think he may want to do that main phase because to respect Knight of the Reliquary. This might be a bit of a misstep on Daryl's side.
Yeah, he's doing it upkeep because if Justin just had Spell Queller end step in
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. He has to. Okay. At the same time, if there was a... Yes, that whole turn was playing around Spell Queller, wasn't it?
Yep.
Good call. Justin will get 1 clue off this. Finds Gavany Township. Hold on. Does that mean... Can he... No, his mana's going to go away. He can't, right?
Set up lethal with the bird here.
Not this turn.
Right.
Gets a clue. He has 1 mana floating. Okay, so he's going to use his 1 mana floating and the bird to Township right now and make a lethal 1/2. Thought about it, then he just cracks the clue. Gets another bird. Everything's dead.
He has
Azusa's back.
He has other avenues to making lethal creatures next turn.
Not so. I mean, in theory, the problem is Daryl's untapping with an Azusa and a ton of mana.
Well, you can't. Nothing he does makes lethal this turn.
Yeah, I don't think. If Daryl plays this right, it is very likely that Daryl will win from here. Just like he has an Azusa in play, so much mana, and if he has a Titan in his hand, this is gonna get out of control very fast. 3 birds from Justin and a pass.
And we'll find out if Daryl has it.
Yeah. Even a bounce land would work. To mow down the birds, he can find Walking Ballista to shoot down all the birds. And with the amount of mana he has, Walking Ballista, like you might think, hey, I need Primeval Titan to win. It's probably not true. Ballista probably wins from here with this much mana if it survives.
If the math tracks where Titan is lethal this turn, clearly you go for that.
Don't believe it is. We'll see. Well, because the lands aren't coming into play untapped. With an Azusa in play, you can do cute stuff like get your Slayer Stronghold into play tapped with a bounce land, put it back in your hand, make your land drop for the turn as Slayer Stronghold. But it's all just like gross like that.
Yeah.
When you don't, generally when you don't have an amulet, you in play, instead of playing like a combo deck, you play like a mid-range deck. Like instead of trying to kill your opponent, what you try to do is you play a Titan and then try to not lose. And if you do that for enough, you just end up winning.
Right. You might even go to Titan and just get through the turn by finding Radiant Fountain.
Sure. Radiant Fountain can... because there's 3 attackers and there's that Township, that might not work.
Radiant Fountain, bounce land, either pick up the Fountain or the Vesuva.
Seeing if he has. He does have the Ghost Quarter main, so you could find Ghost Quarter, bounce land, replay Ghost Quarter, and quarter away the Township.
Yep.
That's another line if he wants to just make the Titan.
I guess if he goes for Radiant Fountain and Justin's heads up about it, he can Ghost Quarter the Fountain if Daryl tries to pick it up, but then Justin won't be able to make lethal Township the next turn anyway.
Yeah, I think the line of getting Ghost Quarter and quartering away the Township is his best avenue.
That's what he's looking at, it seems.
Yeah. So it's because he hasn't made his land. He has not made his land drop yet this turn, and quite intentionally he hasn't made his land drop. Right now, and the way the list has moved, he's on 29 lands main, A lot of times you see these one-of lands that are silver bullets, and because Hive Mind isn't really playable anymore and the Bloom's left, the deck has started to do is you just main deck all your silver bullets. So here we see Boros Garrison and Ghost Quarter. Ghost Quarter goes back into his hand because he wants it untapped this turn. And then I believe we're going to see him quarter away at the Gavany Township. Summoner's Pact for Daryl.
That's something you saw there. Daryl didn't really shuffle because he's going to be searching his deck at least one more time here.
Yeah, another Primeval Titan. So land. Okay, and this is 6 mana. He can make a second Titan. This is great. He still has one more land drop because that was his land for turn, his first Azusa land. This is very nice. Another land and Radiant Fountain goes to 3, can pick up a land here. And then I think we're going to see Ghost Quarter as the last play.
Yeah.
And he picks up the Teleria West. This makes sense. That was with them. So second Azusa land is Ghost Quarter, and now he quarters away the Township.
And
well-sequenced turn.
With 2 Titans hanging out, not much Justin can do from here.
No, and as I said the turn when I said Daryl went to 1, and it's saying Daryl's going to win from here if he plays it right, and this was playing it right.
Yes.
And then you swing for 1 with Azusa because...
This is the kind of deck that even if it has a great position, you would just never recommend somebody pick up if they only had a week or even a month to prepare.
Yeah, I've been playing for about 4 years, and I'm still horrible at it. So go back to Justin. Courser. And yeah, things should be done because Daryl still, that last card in his hand is a Teleria West. He pays his Pact next turn, transmutes for a Pact of Negation, and there's really not an out that Justin can have. Says go, Daryl has to pay. Says, yeah, I'm paying. You're not going to get a win from me that way. There's the pay. Draw here. It's likely that he just wins this turn. He can swing with everything, double strike a Titan, transmute for Ballista. There's a lot of sources of damage. A lot of ways Daryl can play this. Swing with 2 Titans, get a bunch more lands.
If you signed up for Commander Plot number 12, please make your way to the site event registration stage.
Getting Bazooka Bog. That's another one of the one-ofs that's now in the main. The last T-West. Colony Garden, maybe. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. He's got the stuff that he wants already on the battlefield. The bog is kind of a telltale sign of that.
I'm just getting things.
That graveyard didn't matter.
Ooh, another bounce land and another bounce land. Sounds about right. Pick up the T-West. Pick up the who cares. Makes double strikes up a Titan. This is still with 1 bounce trigger on the stack. Okay, picks up a fountain to the other bounce land. Sure. And we see Collected Company from Justin, and Daryl says fine. Top 6 cards, Voice of Resurgence, Triless Tracker, Course of Crewfix. There's options. But I don't think any of these matter. Yeah, he picks up the cards. It's going to be Amulet Titan and Daryl Ayers taking game 1. It is a tough matchup for Bant. On the play with that 4/4 Knight of the Reliquary, I liked what Justin had going on. He had the right tools here.
Yeah, he had a couple windows where the game was winnable. His mixture was just a little bit off.
Exactly. All right, so Justin's going to go to the sideboard. I assume things will improve. We'll take a look at his sideboarding, and we'll look at Daryl's sideboarding when we come back. All right, so we're back here with Justin Elkins and Daryl Ayers. Elkins, after Bant Company, got him down to 1, but couldn't finish the deal. He was close to racing, and honestly, that's closer than he'll normally be, so he's going to have to go for some different stuff in sideboarding.
Yeah, really looking for some interactive things.
Exactly.
Looking over the sideboard, we have 3 Unified Will, 2 Leyline of Sanctity, 2 Sacred Ground, 2 Stony Silence, a Bojuka Bog, an Eidolon of Rhetoric, an Elspeth Sun's Champion, a Fracturing Gust, a Sigarda Host of Herons, and a Reclamation Stage. The Unified Will is the only card that I'm really actively excited about.
Very interested in it, though. That one's going to be good.
Yep. There's smaller arguments for a couple things here. The Eidolon of Rhetoric for the packed turns, it's pretty mopey. Don't love it.
Yeah.
It's a company hit, though, so it's kind of incidental.
Yeah, there's not that much that's good. You might look at Elspeth Sun's Champion, but usually that
Too
won't.
slow.
Yeah, like that's not going to work.
Yeah, and Reclamation Stage can destroy an amulet, but it probably is just not going to play.
Yeah, I mean, and really the problem is that, like, Amulet's not worth fighting over in the matchup. Not particularly. Daryl didn't play game 1.
He also just already has main deck Kasali Pride Mage, which is just a better card.
Yeah. So looking at Daryl's side, Obstinate Baloth, 3, 2 Dismember, 2 Pyroclasm, 2 Relic of Progenitus, 2 Spell Pierce, a Hornet Queen, a second Engineered Explosives, the Rex Sage, and the Rurik Thar. Pretty different side. The sideboard on Amulets are still out right now. Daryl's going to be pretty happy with his main deck.
Yep.
He'll reach for the Pyroclasms because they're a good way to just take some speed out of Justin's best draws. Outside of that, I'm not sure that he needs much to win this game.
Definitely doesn't need much. It's not a matchup where you hate Hornet Queen.
No, it's fine. I mean, Titan usually wins, but Hornet Queen is probably acceptable to put in.
Yeah.
And the second EE, sure, I'm in.
Yeah, that card was very good in game 1.
The fact that it's not just on 1 that it's good, it's on 3 is very nice. Turn 1 Sakura Tribe Scout for Daryl. This is one of the more powerful cards, actually, in Amulet. Like, the problem is that it's a 1/1 for 1. But if you imagine a 1/1 for 1 that says tap to Rampant Growth, like that's a really extremely good Magic card.
Yes.
Most decks can't play it because they run out of lands. Amulet doesn't. And because Bant Company doesn't have something like Lightning Bolt or Fatal Push, this is a very nice card in the matchup.
And honestly, it's mostly only the Lightning Bolt decks that are checking you on this. It's really hard to have Fatal Push on your deck post-sideboard.
Yeah. If you are a Fatal Push deck, you probably should keep it in against Amulet because they'll also board in Tireless Trackers against you. So
sure.
So like it's going to be good.
If you have both though, you just like go down to Lightning Bolt exactly and hope you draw enough of them.
A lot of the times, yeah. Ancient Strings from Daryl finds Slayer's Stronghold. That's a pretty big miss for Daryl. That's a land you almost prefer to keep in your deck.
Yeah.
And he'll put Slayer's Stronghold in, cast Amulet, play Gemstone Mine, cast Amulet. Okay, double Amulet hands are terrifying because you'll keep double Amulets and garbage. Now, it might be that Daryl doesn't have a bounce land. I'm imagining bounce land is what he wanted this Strings to hit, and it just didn't.
Yes. But bounce land or even Teleria West from here,
yeah, any land that comes into play taps.
Snowball very quickly.
Makes 2. He's most of the way to 6. It's a lot to like here. So what especially you like on Daryl's side is that Justin hasn't made a play.
Yeah. And does not have the speed that he had in the first game, and this is a point where enough stuff has already happened. The Spell Queller really doesn't even play anymore.
And Justin just says go because he wants to leave up the Spell Queller. He could have made Knight of the Reliquary. The issue is that Daryl's a big mana deck, so if Justin says go, Daryl will just not do anything and be totally happy with it. I'm going to cast a 3rd Amulet. This is a bait spell, actually. We'll see if Justin recognizes that. Daryl would love to see this get Spell Quellered. And good call on Justin. He didn't go for it. Daryl passes.
Blocking for, say, a Summoner's Pact.
Yeah, just like, well, 2 Amulets is already basically game winning.
Right.
I guess what this means is now the Bojuka Bog brings Daryl to 6.
A veritable Dark Ritual.
Yeah. He's got Summoner's Pact in hand, but he's got to be wary about that. He'll go for it. I assume this is getting quelled. It is. But Daryl also has Primeval Titan. Okay, he's going to win right now. This is going to be pretty cool. So, Simic Growth Chamber untaps 3 times, makes 6 mana, gets Primeval Titan. With 3 Amulets, this is cool. So you get Teleria West and Simic Growth Chamber. They're going to untap 3 times, so that makes 9. Use 3 to transmute for a Pact. Pact for a Titan, cast Titan. You can do that again. 3 amulets is dumb, is where we're going to get to.
This
Do it again,
gameplay
transmute
is
for a pact.
just
pact
so
for a
accessible. You too could play this deck at Friday Night Magic.
Now this next Titan's going to get Boros Garrison, Slayer Stronghold. That's going to untap 3 times. He has to get Vesuva because he already has a Stronghold. But untaps 3 times, and there's 3 really nice targets in play. So he's going to get those. It untaps 3 times. He's going to give each of them +2/+0 in haste. That's fun. Now they're all going to attack. And Justin's like, okay, we're good. We're good. Daryl gets it 2 games to 0.
Yeah, it's all very intuitive. I'm sure that that's something that just anybody could pick up.